Let me just open my lemonade.
No, open it on camera, make it real loud. Let's have a listen.
I don't know if that would be loud.
Go on. Oh, it was pathetic. The term voice of a generation is a tired and overused cliche that I'm nonetheless going to use to describe Billy West, a man who voiced basically every cartoon character you remember from your childhood. Oddly, despite being described as one of the most adaptable voices in the business, Billy West's most famous role is basically him speaking normally, which was all part of an ingenious plan to make sure he never got replaced. So we should clarify before we continue, you're not feeling very well today, are you, Nisha?
Oh, it's nothing new that I feel sick again.
But you're not feeling so we'll apologise for that now in case you've got those, you got Phoebe Buffay, sultry voice going on and say, oh yes, Karl, thank you very much.
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
The thing is though, people when they're sick they go one or two ways. They either get that or they get Mike Wazowski. So we'll let the audience decide which one you're sounding like today, but yeah, let's continue.
Okay, so what role are we specifically talking about today?
Well, it should be fairly obvious from the title and the thumbnail, but we're talking about Philip J. Fry, a hapless, time-displaced delivery boy.
Hello, pizza delivery for, Icy Wiener.
Who, goes on a series of adventures alongside an eclectic cast of characters, some of whom Billy West also voiced. And would you like to take a guess at which characters Billy West voiced from, the main cast?
Didn't he voice the Professor?
Yes, he also voiced the Professor, so, a relative of Fry. But, oddly enough, he also voices Zoidberg, which I think highlights, just the range of his voice. That he voices Fry, basically old man Fry, and then Zoidberg. He also, as well, voices, get this, Zapp Brannigan. He's the velour fog himself, Zapp Brannigan. And I only found this out when I think Billy West was on a TV show, and they got him to read out Donald Trump tweets in Zapp Brannigan's voice.
That is amazing.
They sound just exactly like the kind of shit Zapp Brannigan would say.
Sorry, losers and haters, but my IQ is one of the highest. And you all know it.
I just like how he can't pronounce words. He can't pronounce champagne.
No, he does pronounce it like champagne. He pronounces it exactly right. I say champagne because of Zapp Brannigan, which I think shows the power television can have, to influence society and culture as a whole.
You want the rest of the champagne?
No, and it's pronounced champagne.
Oh God, no!
Right, so we mentioned Zapp Brannigan briefly, so let's get into it. Rather than say who our favourite character is, it's going to be one of the main cast. So let's go for favourite character who appears in only a handful of episodes, or maybe even one episode. Because if you say favourite character, it's going to be Bender, or it's going to be Fry, or it's going to be one of them. So who's your favourite character who doesn't get as much play as the other ones? I'm going to go for Mom. Because I fucking love Mom, and how, as the series progressed, she just got more and more evil. Because in addition to having some of the best lines, she has some of the best moments, like on Mom Appreciation Day, on Mother's Day, when you get the giant robot, this comes from Mart, as he's giving the toy, or the card or something like that. It's like, oh man, that's so good.
I really like Calculon.
But who the fuck doesn't like Calculon? He's the greatest acting bot of his generation.
But it also reminds me of the other side character that you occasionally see, who always shouts when Calculon's around and goes, "Yay, Calculon's back!"
Calculon, you're alive!
Yay! Calculon's back!
Oh man, let's get into that as well then. Best, running gag from a cartoon as well, because there's so many in Futurama. I think one that I didn't notice till it was pointed out to me is that, do you know the episode where they come, mum's sons come in and go, oh yeah, we're owl exterminators, and they dump a lot of owls on the floor. If you watch the series back, you'll notice that there are just owls everywhere, and and they come out of little holes in the ground like rats do. And they kept that joke going on throughout the entire fucking series.
My favourite is when there's that owl stuck in the spider's web. I can't remember which episode it is, but it's just, woohoo, woohoo.
And it's like that bit as well, where it's just the guy's like, we're owl exterminators. You go, okay, then exterminate this owl. And it's just a screeching owl on a set of forceps. The thing I like about Futurama, though, is that the little throwaway gags will get referenced in later episodes or even become part of the lore. Where Bender says Bending's my middle name.
Yeah.
And now his official name is Bender Bending Rodriguez. And that is 4 years old, and they show pictures of him like, oh, he's me on my first birthday, and it's just him fully built, smoking a cigar. So I think like Bender, just being Bender, is like one of the greatest things in that show. Like my absolute favourite gag of all time from that show is just like, oh, I don't know what the lead up to it is, but it's something like, I'm going to go out on my own, and it smash cuts to him in court. And it's like, we are sentenced to 300 days community service. And it zooms out, and it's just him in a pimp suit. It's like, damn anti-pimping laws.
And then is that the way he storms out?
Yeah,
and he says,
we love you, Bender, so you know it, baby. It's like, oh,
shut up, baby, I know it.
it's so good.
Bender, honey, we love you.
Shut up, baby, I know it.
Anyway, back to Billy West. Because Billy West did not voice Bender. That was, I think, John Dimaggio, I think it was. According to, the producers of Futurama, Billy West actually auditioned for every male voice on the show when they put out a casting call and obviously got the role of Fry, Zapp Brannigan, Farnsworth, Zoidberg, and a handful of others. But after a couple of weeks, he got a call saying, oh, you can still be Zoidberg, but we're passing you over for Fry in lieu of someone you know from your Mad TV days, Charlie Schlatter.
I just find it a bit weird that he auditioned to do so many voices.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit presumptuous that he went in an audition for every single character on the show. And so we should establish that Billy West is like no ordinary voice actor and is in fact regarded by many as the finest voice actor of this generation in terms of his versatility. And like the best example of that is when they made Space Jam. Unfortunately, the voice of Bugs Bunny, Mel Blanc, had passed away. And there was only one person they thought of to replace him, and that was Billy West. And by all accounts, he did a phenomenal job. If anyone was wondering why replacing Mel Blanc is such a big deal, I should just tell you that his nickname in the industry was the Man of 1,000 Voices, and Billy West has been described as a natural successor to Blanc, which I'm not sure how he feels about that, because obviously Mel Blanc is he's unapproachable when it comes to voice acting, but it's a pretty fucking big compliment. It's like Mel Blanc, as we've talked about before, we're going to talk about it again, is responsible for what a lot of voice actors believe is the greatest feat of voice acting ever, and that is when it's Bugs Bunny talking to Daffy Duck, and Daffy Duck puts on Bugs Bunny's voice, and Bugs Bunny puts on Daffy Duck's voice, and then Mel Blanc did that in one take. So he talked to himself as two different characters, putting on each other's voices, and then swapped between them flawlessly.
Just a darn minute. Where do you get that duck season stuff?
Says so right over there on that sign. You're so smart.
So bringing it back to Billy West.
Once again, yes.
You mentioned earlier that he was replaced by a guy called Charlie Schlatter.
Yeah, he wasn't replaced by him, but he got passed over for the role. The producer said, we think this guy's better suited for the role. But oddly enough, I think still gave the role of Farnsworth to West. And the story goes that producers started shuffling things around and decided that Schlatter maybe wasn't the voice they were after, and they called up West and offered him the part again. And according to him, in an interview with NPR when he came in, he decided purposely to make the voice of Fry his own regular speaking voice, from when he was about 25 years old.
Is there a particular reason why he chose to do his voice from when he was 25 years old?
Yes, because according to Wes, a voice actor by trade and probably one of the best in the business at the moment, he said that, copying a character is difficult, but a skilled voice artist can do it. However, copying just a regular person's speaking voice is very difficult because most people tend to exaggerate some part of it and it becomes slightly a caricature of what it once was. So what I did is I deliberately made the voice of Fry basically my own speaking voice when I was a little bit younger, because then I couldn't be replaced.
Well, that idea is pretty genius.
It is, but I don't think he needed to do that because he's so good. Why would you not just keep him on board? But I appreciate, the hustle of doing it. And the thing is, if they replaced Wes for the voice of Fry, they'd also have to replace Zoidberg, Farnsworth, and Zapp Brannigan. Yeah. Because presumably, if they didn't want him to read for Fry, they wanted to read from anybody else. It reminds me a lot of the Simpsons cast, where every couple of years they all just threaten to quit unless they get more money. And they have to get given more money because who the fuck are you going to get in to replace this cast of The Simpsons? They've been voicing it for 25 years at this point. Something similar, I think it was Harry Shearer a couple of years ago. I think he voices Mr. Burns. And he was saying, I want to go and be in TV shows and do all the voiceover work. And was apparently their contract is quite strict in the sense that you're not allowed to go do other gigs when you're working for The Simpsons. He's I want to go do other stuff. And they threatened to fire him. And they said, we've got enough voice clips of Mr. Burns, we basically cobble it all together anyway. Eventually, they're going to have so many of those voice clips, they can just do that.
Yeah.
And just program an AI that becomes The Simpsons. And in that way, The Simpsons will last forever, whereas Futurama ended on a high note. So we've talked about Futurama quite a bit today, so let's move away from that, but try and stay on topic a little bit and just talk about voice acting in, like, you know, cartoons. Because, like, there are some voices out there that I'd fucking love. And I'm going to start with my favourite, and that has to be Mr. Chris Sabat as Vegeta from Dragon Ball. God damn, do I love me some Chris Sabat. And, like, and he's one of the people, if they replace Vegeta, I'd be fucking pissed. Because he's just so perfect in the role. And I love now that as the show's gone on, he's really settled into the role. And he's gone from just being like, you know, a crazy villain who screams and fires lasers out of his fist, like, you know, a family man. And I think my favourite line, like, Chris Pratt ever did as Vegeta is when he's having a conversation with Whis in, like, a filler episode. And he's like, what are you doing, Whis? Hanging out with my wife, huh? And Bulma's like, no, leave him alone. He goes, yeah, whatever, babe. And it's like, oh, man, you'd never expect to hear that.
You can at least pretend.
Yeah, sure, fine, babe. His beer is here.
There's that episode where Goku appears in, like, Bulma's bedroom.
He appears in Bulma's bedroom. He's like, Kakarot, what are you doing, my wife? And it's like, I can't imagine anyone else replacing him in that role. And you can tell he's got comfortable in it because now they can do lines like that. Is there any, like, voices from, like, you know, cartoons or stuff like that you really, really like or just think can't be replaced?
I really like Moleman from Simpsons.
Oh, Moleman's so good. Moleman is up there with greatest side characters in just, like, fictional fucking history. So what is your favourite Moleman line? Like, mine has to be, welcome to Moleman in the morning. Good Moleman to you all.
Hello, this is Moleman in the morning. Good Moleman to you.
Can't remember specific, like, lines, but there's that one where I think he crashes slowly into a tree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, not again.
He, like, sets on fire or something.
There's another one where he, like, picks up the thing on the floor. It's like, latex condo. Boy, I'd sure love to live in one of those.
He replaces Bart.
Yeah, oh, man.
Homer's just, like, kissing him on the head, and he's like, cowabunga, dude.
It's just like kissing a peanut. Oh, man, like, if we're going to stick with voices in The Simpsons, I think just the most, like, inimitable one, it has to be, like, Fat Tony. Because I found out, like, the guy who does that voice is, like, the guy from Criminal Minds. Like, he's an actual proper actor who I forget the name of, but they bring him in every now and again and just make him do that shit.
He doesn't do the voice of the robot mafia. I forgot his name.
He might do, I don't know. I do love, though, like, the Robot Don.
That's it, yeah.
Like the Robot Don and the Robot Devil. Robot Devil is fucking up there as well. I love that guy. He's so good.
When they go to hell and he gets hit by that violin, he's like, ah!
He's the scream in it that does it.
Oh, sorry.
I also quite like the voice of Leela because it's Katey Sagal, I forget how to pronounce her name. Yeah. And she's got a big break as, I think it's My Wife and Kids or something like the one with Al Bundy. And they reference that, though, in an episode where she goes to, like, purposely her home planet. Yeah. And they give her, like, the Peggy hairstyle. And they come in and go, Al. And they make her do it again. It's like, we know you hate this role because it's, like, all you're known for. Like, but fuck it, go do it again.
And it always makes me laugh when she fights because she always does the
yeah! It's like, that's a Tommy Oliver-esque, like, fighting scream right there. And it's again, inimitable. You couldn't get anyone else in to do that. But I love the idea that they had to record them all separate. It's like with Homer Simpson. You'd think after, like, 30 seasons, they'd just reuse the dough, but they don't. They make Dan Castanella do it every single time.